That's the last time I got crabs.
Yeah, well, that's an itchy situation. Oh, hello, we're live. It is 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 9 over on the East, and who gives a fuck what time it is down in Australia? This is not the Red Eye, this is Behind the Thrones. We have some new prequel news. One prequel, well, rest in peace. But another one has gotten a green light on an entire season. I'm joined here today by Doku and Farty. The Drop Bears missed you again today. I gotta pay them better.
Gotta get up early in the morning, like, get your best on me.
They even told me they sent in the spiders and that didn't work. You burnt down half your house?
No, I just hadn't had a bath in a fucking week and I stink so bad I could drop an elephant from 500 yards.
Oh, those spiders didn't stand a chance. What's going on, Doku? How are you? You're finally out of bed, so it's Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm fucking like John Carpenter's They Live, fucking in bed for 2 fucking days. That was wonderful.
Hey, you're in Topor. It's all right.
But no, I'm doing good.
All right, so Blood Moon, right? That's what they were calling it. The series about the others. That series is now in the graveyard. They killed it, which is odd because George had previously said how much he adored the writer and adored the director for that pilot, and he thought it would make a great show. Let's start with that, the one that is not going to be. You had said in Discord that you're happy about that. I have mixed feelings. Why are you happy?
No, I can tell you exactly why I'm happy. Come on, dude. Tell me you don't know why I'm happy. It reeked of fucking woke pandering bullshit. Nothing against Naomi Watts, nothing against the writer, nothing against the premise of the story, but you already know going into it exactly what type of audience they were trying to pander to. And I'm sorry, dude. Coming off of the shit show that was Game of Thrones Season 8, after dwindling down all of the good faith, the goodwill that you had with the fandom, and then Benioff and Weiss just run away from their freaking Comic-Con interview. No, screw you. Fuck off. You better do something good.
Well, no. First off, you're breaking up a little bit. Adjust your mic. Second, they ran off from a Comic-Con interview? Okay, let's sink our teeth into that one, so to say. Why exactly were they running? Because they were pansy little bitches? Or because HBO forced that storyline down their fucking throat and they have an NDA and can't discuss it?
Alright, real quick, I'm testing. Am I good?
Yeah,
you're much better.
Well, this is where I reckon the whole, even the title Blood Moon is a bit of a fuck you to the fans kind of thing, because, well, if you read between the lines, your hang a moon is to chuck a brown eye or to bend over and show someone your ass, and a blood moon is like so basically saying a big red ass. So look at my big red ass. It's a fuck you to all the fans who didn't like Game of Thrones. That's why they ran.
Well, I don't know if that's the direction they were actually going with the title, but first off, let's just start with the title. Blood Moon. Really? Like, that is the most fan fiction bullshit title you could possibly come up with. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I honestly thought it was another bloody Twilight fucking sequel when I first heard it.
That's what I thought too.
Well, no, I think what it was the working title. They never usually stick with the working title. It's just what they roll with the pilot on. You know what I mean?
I mean, even as a working title, Blood Moon, like, you're not going to go with it. Anything besides Blood Moon, like Breath of the Dragon, the Night, the Long Night, the Night King, the others. Like, no, Blood Moon. That's what we're going with. We're gonna do a story about fucking werewolves. Like, get the fuck out.
Aren't they all like titles that they've already used for episodes and shit?
Was there even an episode that had the title Blood Moon? Because I don't remember one.
I don't believe so. I just know even Discovery was called something else when it was in production at the very beginning. They don't usually roll with the working title.
No, I meant all those other names that you rattled off and stuff like Dragon's Breath or Breath of the Dragon, fucking gay shit in the garden and things like that. You know.
It's still better than fucking Blood Moon. Like, come on, dude. What are we, 13?
Apparently.
This is the reason. This is the reason I'm kind of ragging on this one a little bit, because the writing in season 7 and season 8 was so damn lazy. Even if it's a working title, that reeks of laziness.
I mean, even the tactics and shit like that, like at the end when fucking What's-Her-Flaps was taking that big fucking horde of ships to go and attack and they started shooting the dragons down, it's like, why didn't you just gain altitude and then dive bomb them because they couldn't fire directly up? Oh, no,
you
that's
mean like
too
she
easy.
did the second time around?
Oh, did she end up doing it? Oh, well, fuck me, I was right.
Yeah, in the last episode, the way she destroyed Euron's fleet was come in with the sun to her back, and high altitude just comes straight the fuck down and just torch the whole fucking fleet. It's like, well, you could have done that initially instead of run away, but no, for the sake of the story, you gotta kill off one of the dragons.
It didn't have enough plot armor.
And again, this is the reason I say, like, it's lazy writing. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, dude, you're on a dragon. You're telling me that you're just gonna all fucking squirrely, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed just come around the fucking corner knowing that Cersei and Euron are still out there trying to fucking kill your ass? You're not gonna be cautious? Like, yay, we just killed the Night King, guys! Like, woohoo! You're a moron. Like, no, that's stupid. That's lazy.
But even that was just like, remember my reaction when that little tiny girl came out of fucking nowhere and jumped on his back and said, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, I would have rather have seen what was the dragon? It was Rhaegal. I would have rather have seen his ass just get hit by the frickin' ballista a few times and just frickin' faceplant right into one of the fucking boats and just sink it. Then attack. Like, let's have an actual battle. Nope, just gonna kill a dragon and have Dany run away. Like, dumb.
Well, the thing I was looking forward with the series was getting the origins of House Stark, getting Bran the Builder, and seeing how the Long Night ended the first time, because my theory is it ended in a treaty. That's why the wall was built. And they were probably required to give sacrifices, hence the werewood gate in the Castle Dark or whatever. Castle Black.
Castle Black.
What season was the Build-A-Bear in?
But no, I believe in the books, the Werewood Gate wasn't at Castle Black. That was at the Night Fort, the one that was abandoned.
You're right, the Night Fort, yeah.
Which we only got, like, what? A tiny little glimpse of in, like, what? That was, like, season 4 or 5?
Yeah, but we got to see the gate. That's where that's where he came in.
That. Yeah, Sam and it was Bran. That's where Bran and Samwell Tarly very first met.
Oh, hey, did you notice, though, that, like, during the filming of fucking Game of Thrones, Queen Elizabeth sat in the throne and no one said shit. She's a real power in the universe.
Fuck the Queen.
If you're into that, but yeah, I prefer Princess Kate, thanks.
It's better than sniffing her blood moon.
Oh.
And demonetized.
Well,
I definitely do not condone any statement made by Doku, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think you need to worry about being demonetised because you know what happens when you cross the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen. You get killed in a tunnel.
Well, we're all dying to
I
see
like
the end of
limousines.
that story.
Just watch out, Doku. If you see any white Fiat Unos, fucking run.
I'll keep that in the back of my head, assuming I don't drink all those brain cells away by the end of the night. But yeah,
All right.
a little bit back on topic. I am happy that this particular Blood Moon prequel was canceled because I'm sorry, man. It feels like it was an ass pull. It feels like, hey, let's capitalize on this as quickly as possible. It feels like the same kind of bullshit that Disney Star Wars has, where you guys didn't really listen to the fans and realize how pissed off they are. If you're gonna give us something, make sure it's good. And
Yeah,
just from that title, doesn't sound
yeah,
good.
Okay.
this was definitely testing the waters. Like,
Okay.
did we really piss them off that much? Oh, yes, we did.
Well, you know what? All right, let's move on to the sequel that is being made. House of the Dragon. Okay, is this a kung fu movie or a Song of Ice and Fire? My first question.
Yeah, I'm still kind of iffy on it, to be honest, but it's not the worst thing. I mean, it's a better title than Blood Moon. Yeah, okay. Targaryen rule over Westeros. Maybe we'll get the Dance of the Dragons, that type of stuff.
No,
There's
see, that's the problem. No, I gotta cut you off there. No, you're not. You're not gonna get that. You're gonna get Aegon's Conquest all the way up to Dance of the Dragons, to the good part. That means you get no Blackfire Rebellion, you get no Dance of the Dragons, you get Duncan fucking Egg. That's what you get, buddy. Duncan Egg.
You think they're
Enjoy.
really going to do that? You think they're just going to do Aegon's Conquest and Duncan Egg and not give us the Blackfire Rebellion?
Oh, they're not going to give us a Blackfire Rebellion. That was after the Dance of the Dragons. They can't give it to us if they're stopping at Dance. So yeah, you're going to get Aegon's Conquest. You're going to get the uniting of the 6 kingdoms, and they'll call it 7 because they forgot how to count. You'll get a bunch of incest and nudity, a bunch of dragons and high budget stunts with very little story. If you look at the stories, the Hedge Knight and Duncan Egg, they're good for what they are. What they are is graphic novels. They're good for that. How many seasons can you do off of a couple graphic novels?
1.
Oh, you missed a plot point because you missed out the hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husbands because they're raping everybody out here. But I'm going to make a fucking prediction, and this is going to really fucking suck. What's the bet? They do the original storyline all over again, but from the perspective of the other side. So, like the Night Walkers or whatever the fuck they are, we see that battle from their side of things. Wouldn't that be shit?
At that point, I wouldn't even be mad. I would just have to laugh. I would just be like, you know what? Fuck it. It's dead. It's dead. Kill it. Kill the past if you have to. Pull a fucking Kylo Ren on that shit.
Well, no, and that's the thing. That's why I'm like, You get his history book, and you get a couple graphic novels. There's nothing really there.
And that's kind of what confuses me about this. Like, if they're going to do House of the Dragon, and you're going to give us, like, the Targaryen backstory, so to speak, you can't just do Aegon's Conquest and then give us, Duncan Egg, the Hedge Knight. Like, no, you have to do Dance of the Dragons and the Blackfire Rebellion. Like, drag it out to about 5 seasons. Wrap all of that up.
Duncan Egg. What's the bet that character was named during breakfast?
Like, it's Sir Duncan the Tall and Aegon, like the first Aegon Targaryen. Or no, was it the third? I don't even fucking remember.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, he was like the second or third son in line for succession. so he shaved his head so he didn't have that white, platinum hair. And then he went and ran off with Duncan the Tall, who is Hodor's dad, probably. This is all really convoluted. And how exactly are they making a fucking one season, much less 5 out of this?
I mean, again, if you're gonna do that, first season, have a little bit of a prequel from the fall of Valyria, where the Targaryens very first come to Westeros. The Doom, have that just as like a 2-hour long prequel, Doom of Valyria, Targaryens coming to Westeros. Then have Aegon's Conquest as the first season. There's plenty of shit you could do there. Have the second season as like filler, do Dunk and Egg between the second and third season. Then you could do Dance of the Dragons. Then you could do Blackfire Rebellion. Then you can go all the way up to fucking the Mad King and fucking Dany getting exiled with fucking jackass brother. And boom, there you go. You're caught up. You could do that in 5 seasons.
Well, real quick. First off, welcome Amanda Wolfchild. It's always good to see you. It's confirmed Dunk is Brienne's dad. He could have been a man whore. Just throwing that out there, because the rumor is that old Nan, who is Hodor's mom, actually had a thing with Duncan the Tall when he went to Winterfell for attorney or something like that. I don't know. It's all so convoluted. That's why I'm confused. Why would they chuck out Blood Moon and then go, what's the most convoluted thing we could think of? The Targaryen dynasty. Roll with that.
Oh, you remember what my idea was? If you guys really want to do this and you want to appease both the show watchers, the normies who are just watching it because, and then the people who are actually reading the books, do what I was doing, or what I was saying in Discord earlier. Either do a Shy by the Shadow and have kind of a long format running story plot, and then just sprinkle in some standalone stories, and you just do something with that, because there's so much fucking creative shit that you could do with it. You don't really need to stick to a strict plot line. You could do the same thing with old Valyria, and you could end it with the Doom, and then you could go into the Targaryen conquest of Westeros. Why are you just jumping into this? Doesn't make sense.
Well, I would like to see the Doom of Valyria if the the Faceless Men actually had something to do with that. That would be interesting to find out.
Well, even in the
it'd be funny if they had Duncan the Tall, and then they introduced his cousin, the impotent bloke Bob the Floppy, and he just tries to rape everybody, and he just can't.
God. And demonetized.
Bob the Floppy.
But no, even with the Faceless Men, it's heavily suggested that they got their start in the mines in Valyria, and when everybody left, rebelled and then fled Valyria and founded Bravos. Like, that's where the Faceless Men got their start. It was before Bravos was even a thing. So, I mean, again, there's a lot of creative liberties you could take that actually wouldn't piss off the hardcore lore fanboys. Like, I would much prefer to see something like that as opposed to, hey, Targaryen conquest of Westeros. I don't really care.
Well, no, and Amanda comes back and says that she likes the side books, but not the actual ones from the show. I like A Song of Ice and Fire a lot. I need to rebuy the books. My kids ripped them up. But that's neither here nor there. I also read Dunk and Egg, and I read The Hedge Knight. They're both really good. My only complaint is you can't... First off, he hasn't finished the Dunk and Egg story. You run into the same problem.
Yeah, well, first off, real quick, Mad check DMs. And second off, yeah, this is where I do kind of levy some of the blame at George R.R. Martin, because it's like, dude, if you're giving someone the ability to use your intellectual property, don't bow out as a creative consultant halfway through the frickin' series. Like, not only is that a kind of a dick move, you left Benioff and Weiss to finish the frickin' story with basically just telling them, this is kind of how it ends. How you get there, it's up to you. No, dude, like, Do you not care about the story you're writing that you've put so much time into to the point where it's now a multi-million-dollar, arguably one of the best ever TV shows that's ever been produced, and you're just gonna bow out and you're just gonna go run around and go to conventions and just do whatever the fuck it is you want? Like, come on, man. George, I like your writing, but sorry, Farty, just real quick. George, I like your writing. I like the story. I like what you've built. But come on, man. That is just a fucking dick move, and it reeks of fucking laziness. Like, did you just get tired of it? Did you just want it to end? Like, what the fuck?
Dodge, shameless plug. Dodge?
Sorry, my wife was talking to me, so I was a little distracted. What was that?
Shameless plug.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that was your thing, man.
Oh, but no, I totally missed it. I was being talked to. But Amanda Wolfchild said they could have done so much more with Arya than they did, and that makes her disappointed. They really did, and the West of Westeros thing, I don't know. What, you're just going to go sail off and die? That's what everybody else did that went west of Westeros.
Fine, dude, there's already Suthos. Like, why didn't she go there? I mean, we could do a lot of stuff with Suthos. That's already in there in the World of Ice and Fire books. Why not do that? Like, you could give Arya her own little, like, 2-3 season show just going through Suthos. Why send her west? I don't understand what the fuck they're thinking. I don't think they know what the fuck they're thinking.
And Voice is just being a prick. The main character should be called Rey, and the dragon should be non-binary. Memes would approve, sir.
I call it Mary.
Yep, that makes just as much sense as non-binary tampons.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that fucking bullshit.
So, Kim, did you watch Game of Thrones? And if the answer is yes, then on to what do you think about the prequel they're coming out with?
Based on the last season, I am not looking very forward to it. Because I feel like it's just going to be Dan and Dave again, just dicking off.
Oh, Dan and Dave have no involvement whatsoever. They have left HBO. They went to Star Wars and then got fired from there. So I think they're free agents right now.
No, they didn't get fired from Star Wars. Correction. And this is what they said. George Lucas, Star Wars, that's what built us. That's what they grew up with. They felt like they didn't have enough time to actually do it justice. So they declined Disney's offer, and then they fucked off over to Netflix. That's what they did.
Oh, so in other words, Netflix had more Benjamins.
Actually, I don't know if that's really
More responsibility.
I thought it was more a point that they sort of read the waters and went, no, we've already pissed off one fan base, we don't want to fucking piss off another one.
And actually, I'm with Farty on this one. I think they realized, like, you know what? Kathleen Kennedy is already kind of, well, between her and Rian Johnson, they've already kind of screwed over the Star Wars fan base and continuity enough that they were like, yeah, even we don't want to touch this one. We're just going to go over to Netflix and do our own thing. Y'all have fun. Bye. Which, to be honest, smart move.
That's because that's probably the only smart move they've ever made.
Although it's a surprising move considering the ego of those two. But if Benioff and Weiss are fucking off from Star Wars, like, they gave you a trilogy. Like, this is what Nerdrotic was saying. Not a movie, a trilogy. And they said, no, we don't have the time. We can't do it justice. Bye. That should tell you something about the state of Star Wars and how fucking pissed off that fandom is.
Well, it also doesn't bode well, too, with Disney every 5 minutes saying that, no, we're not going to do any more Star Wars because the fans are all a bunch of cunts. Well, we're going to do another trilogy, but no, we're not going to do another trilogy because the fans are all cunts. Well, we are going to do another trilogy. Like, fucking make up
It's
your
like
mind.
maybe you should stop blaming the fans and start looking at your writers. I don't
Yeah, and
know.
if you were a director though, like every time Disney kept on fucking canning it, you just see that there's no job security there at all. So, what would you?
I have a real question.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Are Dan and Dave attached at the hip or something? Are they like the binaries from Star Trek? Why do they have to work together all the time? Can they not stand on their own 2 feet? It's a real
They
question.
don't, because it takes two of them to make one brain.
Yeah, and for them it wasn't Adam and Eve, it was Adam and Steve.
God, I haven't heard that joke since freaking elementary school.
Shit,
Well,
that killed the dude.
Yeah, no, I was muted there. Time value of a 9-figure Netflix deal. Memes, I can't believe I'm saying this, might be right.
But what? Okay, so here's what I don't get. Netflix just freaking shells out entire seasons at a time, entire movies, like all at once. Everything is like boom, 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 done. Yet they're saying they don't have time for Star Wars. It's like, so are you saying that everything produced by Netflix is just really, really poor quality?
Well, you could probably look at it this way too. I mean, if you get contracted for a Netflix series, chances are you're going to get season 1 out, get paid. By the time they figure out, oh, this series was shit, you're not going to get a second season. So it's a nice, quick little 1 year, exercise and all this kind of stuff. And Netflix is completely geared towards the binge watch sort of, people. So yeah, that's why they do, basically make a whole series and then just go, there it is.
No, and I'm one of those people. I appreciate that, but I just don't understand how you can go from a series like Game of Thrones to Netflix.
Well, as Dan and Dave were kind of saying, and I think this might have been a valuable lesson for them from Game of Thrones, if you're going to be doing something like A Song of Ice and Fire or Star Wars, you're working within an already well-established universe. Yeah, you do have some creative liberties that you could take, but it's not the same kind of thing where, let's say if you're going to do a Netflix series, you can pretty much just do whatever the hell it is you want. Like, you're not held to that same type of die-hard fandom. Granted, you're going to have to earn it.
Sorry.
Granted, you're going to have to earn that fan base, but it allows you to pretty much do whatever you want and see what sticks and see what doesn't without pissing everybody off, which is what Dan and Dave did. So maybe they learned from their mistakes. One can hope, at least.
Or maybe they learned that they're not as talented as they thought that they were when they lost source material.
Well, that's basically what they admitted.
No, I think they could have did good with that CSA series. I get it. It was going to be slanted, like, oh my god, the Confederacy was so evil, blah, blah, blah. But the idea itself is a good one. What if the South won? What would the world be like? Let's explore that world. I've read quite a few books that did that and did it justice. I would love to see HBO tackle that. Because of all the networks, HBO could do it. Have you seen Oz? What about The Sopranos? Need I go on?
Honestly, I don't think that HBO would, though. That's more like Showtime.
They were going to, and then they pulled the plug after the backlash. Because, oh my god, how dare you. It's Trump's America on HBO now. Yay. Fucking punks.
Yeah, but I mean, think about the shows that HBO does, like you said, Oz, The Wire, Sopranos. It's not really.
In Oz, there's more racist shit than any other show I've ever seen other than the movie American History X. Also, they crucified a Catholic priest in the middle of the fucking rec hall. Come on.
Yeah,
so
but
you're
that's
from the South.
not a problem.
You're from the South, Dodge, and you haven't seen Birth of a Nation yet?
I have seen Birth of a Nation, and are we really going back? We're pulling out the silent movie era?
Oh, you reckon Oz was fucking racist? I'd put it to you that Birth of a Nation
Have
probably
you
showed
not
it.
heard what's his name? Fucking goddamn, not Beecher. The one that was torturing him. The fucking Nazi guy, the Aryan Brotherhood dude.
Schillinger.
Yeah, that dude was a cunt.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, okay. I'll even show this one. All right, MC. Marching Through Georgia wasn't doing the U.S. Civil War revision justice from Turtle Dove. Um, hey, Guns of the South was written by Turtle Dove, and it was really good. Yeah, it's a bunch of racist South Africans that find a time machine. That's a weird twist that they added, where they brought the AK-47, and that's what swayed the war. I don't think it would have. But all in all, it was a good story. I read it in a day. It was easy reading.
Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing alternate history if, just in case the South did win and all this kind of stuff. I'd love to see the scene of what would have really happened to Jesse Smollett, or Jussie Smollett, Juicy fucking Smollett, or whatever the fuck.
Somalia.
Okay, we're not going into politics on tonight's show, Farty. Nice try.
Dude, that's not political, but that's just hilarious.
Sherardi, shut your whore mouth.
So this man dies and goes to heaven, right? He sees St. Peter at the pearly gates, and behind him there's this big wall of clocks. And the bloke says to St. Peter, like, well, what's with all of these clocks? And St. Peter says, oh, they're the lie clocks. See, every time you tell a lie, the hand moves one notch. And he says, oh, so where's Hillary Clinton's clock? And he goes, oh, that's in Jesus' office. He's using it as a ceiling fan.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, that was a political joke.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. But no, okay. Now, let's continue on and see what would you guys do? Once again, I come back to a shy. I think a shy is a great idea, Doku, and you kind of picked up on that that idea from me. So don't take full credit there, buddy.
No, I've been wanting them to do a shy for quite some time, simply because it's not very well fleshed out, and there's a lot of crazy shit surrounding a shy, like the glowing river, the ghost grass. Apparently, that's where the dragon eggs that Danny got, they came from a shy. Apparently, dragons originally came from a shy. That's where the red priest and priestesses come from. That's where the warlocks come from. Like, dude,
I'm really hoping.
Why would you not do that?
I'm really hoping that they touch more on the warlocks and the stone men.
Well, in the books, they do. And this.
I know, that's why I'm hoping with the prequel, they're actually going to,
Okay, so I'm gonna kick Dan and Dave in the balls again real quick. You're doing a fantasy story, but you wanted to minimize the magical and fantastical elements of that story. Yeah, that kind of works to ground everything in reality and bring in the non-Lord of the Rings nerds into the story. But at the end of the day, dude, you're talking about a story with frickin' ice zombies, frickin' the children of the forest, and dragons, and people that get brought back from the dead. But you want to minimize the magical, fantastical elements of things?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, why? Like, isn't that kind of the appeal of the show, is to have a somewhat more realistic fantasy story?
Political discourse is more entertaining, apparently, to these people these days than the fantastical imagery and storyline behind magic.
Well, no, you gotta love it too. What I'm posting on the screen. Amanda Wolfchild and MC going back and forth about the Civil War now. we're talking Game of Thrones, people. No.
But no, here's the thing. Like, you can have political discourse, and that was set up in the first 2 seasons.
Oh.
It doesn't mean you have to ignore the fantasy elements. Which, again, with the Warlocks, like, if we're talking about the books, like, let's look at Euron Greyjoy real quick, and his ship, the Silence. Everyone has their tongue cut out. So, the boat is quite literally silent, except for Euron, Theon's fucking sister. I forgot her name already because I don't care. And
it was Asha in the books, but Yara on the show.
Okay, yeah, Yara. So she could talk, but the whole boat itself, like the only thing you hear is just the creaking and the splashing of waves and shit. The whole boat itself is fucking quiet, but the only other person on the boat that could actually talk is a fucking warlock. And then apparently he's supposed to have a red priest on there as well, and apparently he's also supposed to, supposedly, have a full suit of Valyrian steel fucking armor and also a dragon egg. Like, there's a lot of crazy shit. Like, Euron's been to Ashai. He's been around the entire world. Why the fuck didn't Dan and Dave do anything with that? Also, remember that red priestess? Well, real quick, Kim. Remember that red priestess that came to Marine when it was under siege? The one that told Varys, would you like to know what the voice in the flame said when you got your junk cut off? What did you guys do with that? You just kind of forgot about it, didn't you? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, there are a lot of red priestesses.
But she was the head of them. Like, no, she was the big boob of all of them. They did nothing with her character. She just kind of showed up and fucked off.
But no, honestly, about Euron, they could not make him that OP.
But that's the thing. He's supposed to be that OP. That's why he's supposed to be scary. He's not supposed to be just like this crazy, I'm going to kill my cousin.
Well, Doku, since you want to dwell on the books a little bit, I'm fine. I'll play that game. I know the books as well as anybody. Do you think Jon is going to kill Dany in the books? I don't.
I don't think it's going to go down in the same way. But no, I think he will have to kill her. But it's not going to happen the same way it does in the show. It's going to, again, since we're on the books, it's going to be the Azor Ahai thing where you need to quench the blade, and that's going to be him killing Dany, and that's how you're going to have to be able to kill the Night King. Dany has to die.
Kim, have you read the books or listened to the audiobook at least? Do you know what we're talking about here? Or?
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't read the books. I've had the information relayed to me through Doku and other fans.
Okay, yeah, I'm waiting for Winds of Winter. When Winds of Winter comes out, we'll know more on how the story's going to unfold. But I don't see George going in the same direction. I think Dan and Dave were grasping at straws at that point.
Well, George R. R. Martin did publicly make a statement that it wasn't exactly the direction he was going to go, but it mostly was. Like, no matter what, Dany was going to die.
Oh, and that's why I say Dany has to die, because that's the only way you're going to get Lightbringer. And Jon Snow is supposed to be Azor Ahai. That's been well established. I think Dan and Dave actually got the sequence of events wrong. King's Landing should have been sacked first.
Agreed.
And King's Landing should have been sacked first. Cersei should have died first. That whole thing should have wrapped up. And it should have ended up with Daenerys dying. And now it's Jon Snow versus the Night King. Now he's Azor Ahai. He has Lightbringer. Now it's the stereotypical battle of good versus evil. And I think Jon Snow actually should die at the end of the fucking story.
I hate to admit that, but I do agree. Because honestly, the Arya Spider Monkey event was just an ass pull. Like,
Yeah, that felt
was,
like fan fiction.
Yeah, that was the biggest ass pull I think I've ever seen in a storyline.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the part where Arya was actually trying to like sneak through the castle and not catch the attention of the whites. Yeah, no, the whites. Because yeah, she's an assassin. Like, she should be able to sneak, but dude, she's not gonna fight a bunch of fucking whites by herself. Like, no, she's gonna get fucking killed.
Deep. How did she actually get all the way to the Night King with that many whites around him?
Ninja.
No.
Yeah, dude, it's not like she can fucking obfuscate and make herself fucking disappear.
Exactly.
Like, you remember?
We've been playing that vampire game too much. Okay. You know how she got there? Plot armor. That's how she got there. Because Dan and Dave said, stand on this mark and then jump.
I mean, seriously, think about it, though. Like, Arya's an assassin. Like, just her being on the battlefield is kind of a hindrance. Like, the whole thing that makes her terrifying is that, A, she can use the mask to mask herself as whoever, and then she uses the shadows, and she's small, she's limber, she's quick, she's good with a dagger. What good is that going to do if you're fighting an army of the dead, let alone the frickin' Night King's army, while he's leading it?
Well, no, and Doku, do you see what's on the screen here? Amanda Wolfchild brought up a really good point. Sansa should rule in the end, still married to Tyrion for political reasons, and raising I would say the bastard child Jon should have had, instead of a bastard child, but yeah. I agree with her. What do you guys think?
I would accept that. Like, yeah, no. No, I could deal with, well, I think we made this prediction. This is the way I wanted things to end. And this is obviously just me. Sansa and Tyrion have Gendry with Arya at Storm's End. Have Samwell Tarly take over as like head maester. Highgarden can go fuck off. No one cares about Highgarden anyways. Dorne can go fuck off. No one cares about Dorne. And then as far as like who sits on the Iron Throne, no one. No one sits on the Iron Throne. It's just an empty relic. Like, don't even melt it.
No, move it. Put it in the public square as a statue. At the last sword that killed the last king.
Yeah, put Longclaw, aka at this point in time Lightbringer, as the final fucking sword on the Iron Throne. The Throne of Swords. Make Longclaw, aka Lightbringer, the last one.
No, see, this story is supposed to be a fantasy version of the War of the Roses. You can't have it end with no one on the throne. That makes zero sense. You don't go from a pure monarchy to a republic overnight.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It wouldn't be a republic. It would be the North and the South. That was already well established back in season 1. King's Landing would essentially be like the demilitarized zone for North and South Korea. You have the North and the South. That's kind of the way the War of the Roses went. Who rules? Well, it would basically be Sansa from the North and Tyrion from the South. So the two capitals would be Winterfell and Casterly Rock. King's Landing is just there as a testament to everything that fucking happened, which is why it's now more of a war monument.
And the last Targaryen king is just chopped liver, or would you kill Jon?
Yeah, Jon and the Night King both die. That's why King's Landing is now a war monument. Like, there's no more dragons, there's no more White Walkers, they're all dead.
Well, what about Bronn? He can't have kids, Rickon's dead. You're wiping out the Stark line. I don't necessarily like that, considering everything I have Game of Thrones says winter is coming on it. You can kind of tell my allegiance
But the thing is, you still have Bran, you still have Sansa, you still have Arya. So you have Arya and Gendry, you have Sansa and Tyrion, and then you have Bran doing whatever the fuck it is Bran does.
And we don't know for sure that Bran's junk doesn't work, for the record.
Oh, so he's Bob the Floppy.
You never know, man.
Hey, we need our disability representation.
I'm here.
Oh. But no, I would have Jon die at the end of the story, like him and the Night King both fucking die. Although, actually, if you really want to do something with Bran, let's say Bran wargs fucking Jon Snow. When he kills the Night King, they both fucking die. I mean, there's a lot you could have done with it that would be better
why
than
are you trying to why wipe out the male line of House Stark? There must always be a Stark in Winterfell.
Yeah, Sansa's there.
That doesn't count. She's a Tully.
But
she's
he's
still
not
also
a
a Stark.
I consider her a Tully like her mother, and her mother was fucking useless. So is Sansa.
Okay, well
useless.
then he's the Targaryen.
Okay, you know what? Before
you got me over a barrel on that one, Kev. Okay, all right.
Can't rule over the North because he's a Targaryen.
So really, they fucked up when they killed Rickon.
Yeah, because Rickon was the only little shit left. But
well, in the books, technically Stannis is still alive too. So.
Okay, so great. We're gonna have a Baratheon and no Stark in Winterfell. That's gonna go over well again.
Well, I'm just saying Rickon could potentially still be alive in the books. So yeah, you could have Rickon as King of the North.
Yeah, actually, where they leave it off is Davos is sent on a mission from the Manderleys to go to Skagos to collect Rickon. So Rickon is still alive.
Yep. So.
Well, hopefully
again,
George R. R. Martin remembers everything that he's written better than Dan and Dave did. And,
well, this is why I'm saying Benioff and Weiss got the sequences fucked up, and they killed off characters they shouldn't have, and they kept characters alive that should have been killed off. They fucked it all up. They wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah, who said Bronn is a goddamn main character? Have these guys read the fucking books?
I read the first one. I don't know about the rest.
I have. And then relied on George R. R. Martin's input.
I disagree, Amanda. She is such a Tully. God. She is just like her annoying ass mother. I swear to God, Sansa irritates me.
In the last season, not as much, but then again, in the last season, everything else pissed me off so badly that I think I didn't have room for Sansa's just BS.
Oh God, that rested bitch face. Is that how she walks around before she even goes on camera? I swear to God, it's so natural. That has to be her natural state.
Well, from the commercials of Dark Phoenix, yes.
Oh, don't even get me started on that fucking nonsense.
I still want to see it.
But Kim, if you were gonna write a prequel or hell, even a sequel, sequel ideas are actually better because hey, you jump forward 50 years, you're in the Renaissance era of Westeros. What type of intrigue's going on now? That could be interesting.
Well, they already had kind of introduced the fact that they were going through a Renaissance era via the play that Arya saw. So it would be more expansion on that and I think that there would probably be a lot more religious persecution if there were to be a sequel. Like, more
I could, yeah, Cam, I could see that, but I could also see if you're going like with a Renaissance story, all the weird shit George wrote in Essos, throw that out. What weird shit would be the American continent in this world? Could you imagine that?
well, for the first thing, you could bring into the fact that everybody was tripping off of wheat and thought that there were a bunch of weird creatures, and really there was just a bunch of people on drugs that didn't realize it.
Oh, you mean that fucking bacteria that was growing in the fucking
Yeah.
wheat crops? Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm drawing a blank, and usually I would have it on like the forefront of my brain, but
It's ergot poisoning and it's in rye.
thank you. Yeah, the main source of the vampire and werewolf hysteria.
Well, okay, if we're gonna go down the road of sequels, going off of what little Benioff and Weiss left us with, how about this? Bran, after having been touched by the Night King, they're now one and the same. So when the Night King gets killed by Arya, the Night King's not dead. Bran is actually now the Night King. That's why he's so fucking detached. That's why he wants to go off and find the dragon at the end of the final episode. Let me find the dragon, the ice dragon. Let me resurrect the Night King. He just conquered Westeros. And he did it in the most roundabout way possible. He did it by letting himself get killed because he already fucking transferred his consciousness into Bran. Boom, there you go. There's your sequel. The final long night. Because there's only one dragon left.
Well, that wouldn't be a good like series. That would be a good episode though.
All I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't say make a series out of it. Like, maybe a season. Like,
not
'cause
even
John-
like three episode story arc. Honestly, I really wish that they did just one more season so they could fix all of the like screw ups that were in the very final season.
well, because here's the thing.
Like, give
John
a
went north.
Sure.
John went north. There's still one dragon, even though the mother of dragons is dead. Somehow Drogon's still there. He apparently flew off to fuck knows wherever. The Night King already has his mark on Bran. He's the last three-eyed raven. He's the last living Stark that actually can warg. Yeah, warging on steroids, to say the least.
Yeah, he's a super warg.
Yeah, so who's to say, like, okay, Jon Snow, go north. Go find, remember back in season 3 when we saw that Craster's son get turned into a White Walker? Maybe he's the new Night King. Maybe the Night King that we saw in the series isn't even the real Night King. Maybe that's why he was such a bitch. Maybe it's that baby that's sitting all the way up in the lands of Always Winter that's the actual Night King. There's so much shit that you could do that Benioff and Weiss forgot about.
Why the heck did John just go back to the wall instead of going to the true north with Tormund?
No, see, Cam, that's not the stupidest part. The stupidest part is Grey Worm. The stupidest part is Grey Worm. I'm gonna go to the Island of Butterflies. Yeah, bye, buddy. You're dead. Good job.
Yeah.
No, have you heard about that place? That place is fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, it's riddled by fucking disease. Like, if you think fucking Central Africa with Ebola and malaria is bad, go to the Island of Butterflies.
Yeah, these fucking butterflies will land on you and bite you, and bam, you have disease. If they don't get you and you journey too far inward, there's cannibal clans. That's great. You'll be eaten. You know,
so
even better.
Florida meets Papua New Guinea. Awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
Actually, no, seriously, have you guys heard about the poisonous caterpillars that we have down here?
You've got poisonous caterpillars. Whoopie fucking do. We got poisonous snakes.
Oh, we got that too.
We have poisonous snakes too. I'm just saying, this isn't Australia, buddy.
At least we don't have drop bears.
I hear they're vicious.
Hey, we've got little tiny spiders that like to hide under the dunny seat and bite you on the ass when you fucking take a shit in the middle of the night.
Oh god, we have those here too. Fuck those things. Yeah, they like to spin webs over toilet seats, so they bite you in the ass, and the next thing you know, you have fucking your ass cheek swells up, and all of a sudden your veins start bulging.
What the flying fuck?
Yeah, it's wonderful. They also hide underneath hospital beds too, so if, like, you know, you're in an artificially induced coma, you might just be lying there one day and one of these fuckers decides to bite you on the finger. Guess what? You're dead.
Yo, Doku.
Yes.
Why the hell are you saying that to the person that ends up in the hospital all the time?
I'm just giving you fair warning.
Yeah, now she's fucking paranoid.
Yeah,
Good job.
In case you're in another coma, here's what could happen.
Well, I don't know if they're down there in fucking Florida. I know they're up here.
Hey, the way they fucking employ nurses and doctors nowadays, you got more chance of being killed by one of them than a fucking spider on your bed. I'm sorry I had to do it.
That's actually a fair point, to be honest.
Honestly, as long as I'm drugged up, I don't care.
Yeah, like, whatever, spider. Like, hi, little spider. You know.
Hey, do your thing, buddy.
Suddenly you go to visit Kim and she's just surrounded by a bunch of spiders.
Dude, it's like arachnophobia on steroids, literally, because they've all got steroids from the hospital.
Yeah, at that point I'd be like, I love you, baby, but gonna have to burn this room to the ground.
Well, we do have this other one called a white tail, and this one doesn't necessarily kill you. This one will bite you, and you don't feel the bite until several hours later. And when the bite becomes present, it becomes present as a giant chemical burn. And this thing spreads all up the limb that it's fucking that is bit. And apparently the pain is so fucking horrific that people literally are screaming for them to lop off whatever limb it's been bit on.
I really don't want to think about this anymore.
And that one hides in your bed.
Well then.
Yeah, how good is the housekeeping in Australia? I need to know in case I ever visit that country.
Well,
I want pest control in there.
my place is a fucking mess because, like, every time I do see a spider, I throw multiple beer bottles at the cunt to try and fucking kill it, and it ends up just underneath a pile of rubbish. So, I'm not fucking touching that because there's a spider under there.
Just around them. You don't actually kill them.
We'll try to kill them.
Building the damn thing a home, farty.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm trying to kill the bloody things. Like, I actually fucking killed a huntsman one day with a Nerf rifle. I was like just fucking shooting the bastard. I went through about 8 magazines and had to reload a couple of them twice, right? And no kidding, like halfway through it, I was just hitting this thing in the face, and it's like no shit reacting like it's a boxer getting punched in the face. And at one point there, as I was going for a reload, it tried to charge me. Like, fuck you!
Oh my god, I can see Farty wasted shooting at this fucking spider.
With a Nerf gun.
Yeah, sorry, Tokyo, I accidentally clicked on you. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
It's all good. I'm just over here fucking dying laughing. Looking like I'm
fucking spider charges him. He's like, oh hell no.
I'm picturing Farty with a fucking Nerf gun and a beer bottle in one hand, Nerf gun in the other, shooting at this fucking bastard. Then he just raises his front legs and just charges him, and it's like, fuck you, bitch.
The worst part is I'm picturing more of like a bottle with a rag sticking out and fire on top. You know.
Oh, that's a waste of good petrol. Drink that.
True.
Oh, no, it is the beer bottles, though, that you throw at these fuckers. Are they getting closer to you? You might have a problem.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm surrounded by 5 feet of fucking rubbish. No, only kidding.
All right. Hey, back, guys, if that's okay.
Well, we might end up in Discord here soon. Doku only wanted to go about an hour, so I was thinking last thoughts here before we wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll stick around then.
Bob the floppy.
What do you think, Doku? You think the Targaryen history is going to work? I have my doubts. We'll see.
Oh, just real quick, before you friggin' do, you gotta plug BitChute.
Yeah, actually, everybody check us out on BitChute because YouTube's not going to keep us around forever. We well, say our opinion, and that's not welcome here. So check us out on BitChute/Mad Dodge Productions. Thank you very much. Anyway, Doku, what do you think? Targaryen, gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, it could work, but it's gonna be generic, and it's not gonna get the same kind of praise or reception that Game of Thrones did within the first couple of seasons. It could work, but hey guys, let's show you everything you already knew if you've read the books, and if you haven't, then here you go. Yay. Like, I'm not excited for it at all. I might watch it, but no, fuck that. And before you go on to anybody else, I just want off the top of my head, just to prove a point, as to why Benioff and Weiss just got lazy as shit. Let's just recap all of the crap they fucking forgot and never fucking touched on again. The Warlocks, the fact that Bran got touched, what it even means. Yeah, Old Nan, what it means to even be the Three-Eyed Raven, the head of the fucking Red Priest and Priestesses. They never did jack shit with the Faceless Men after that. I mean, even Arya, after she killed all of the Freys, did we ever see her put a fucking face back on? Nope, never saw anything with that.
No, you
never saw anything about it.
got scared because she found the faces. And that was it.
Yeah. So yeah, when Sansa found the masks, never got anything with Azor Ahai, even though fucking Melisandre was constantly fucking ragging on about it. Never explained how resurrection worked. Never explained jack about the Night King. Never explained anything about Craster's kid. Never explained anything about the Lands of Always Winter. Never explained why dragons even came back into the world. Never explained anything about the Red Comet. Never explained where the fuck all those goddamn Dothraki and Unsullied came in after the Battle of fucking Winterfell. Do I need to go on?
No, you really don't, because there are way too many things to touch on. We'd be on for another 2 hours.
Oh, don't leave out Danny as a cup drinker. But yeah, no, I totally see your point. Kem, what do you think? I'm gonna watch it for sure because, well, YouTube content. I'll do my reviews on it. Are you gonna watch it?
To be honest, I canceled my HBO just because of Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna lie, it pissed me off that badly. But no, depending on how they approach the subject matter, it could be a good series. Since this is the time of the dragons, there's a good chance there'll be a lot more of the magical elements involved, which if they actually expanded on those a little bit, I think that it could actually make for decent content. However, I really doubt that's the direction that they're going to go, so I'm not keeping my hopes up at all.
And Farty, I don't know how much you even saw Game of Thrones, but even if I put it on Rabbit and we all watched it together, would you even bother?
Well, yeah, for shits and giggles. The final season was the only season that I ever saw, and I'm pretty adamant in my initial assessment on Game of Thrones when it first started. It wasn't fucking worth my time.
Well, all that being said, we will be revisiting the first season. Voice of One, or I guess he's called Nerd now, I guess. Will be joining me, and I think Doku is also going to rewatch as well. Maybe a few more of us. We'll see. So that'll be coming up around the bend. I'm hoping to start it next week. Tomorrow, we will be doing a Halloween show, probably noon on the West Coast, 3 over on the East. I have to take the kids trick-or-treating, or else we do it at night. Besides, all you guys are going to be at parties anyway. We know how it goes on Halloween. And then on Saturday, it is my birthday. We will be doing Rose City by Night for 2 hours, and then we're going to open it up and do a birthday stream. So that should be a lot of fun. Come help call me old. I'll be turning 35. Yay!
Just
Any
real
last
quick.
thoughts? Anything anybody want to shill before we go?
Yeah, fun fact, we don't actually celebrate Halloween out here. It's sort of something to do with sending our kids to strangers' places and getting lollies and shit off them, sort of screams fucking child endangerment to us. But anyway.
How
You
dare
have
you?
no sense of adventure.
Right? Come on.
Well, would you want your kids knocking on
Where
my
is
fucking
your
door?
I would never have kids.
But if you did, would you want them to knock on my door without, prior knowledge?
Yeah, because they're parasites that are leeching off of me, and I don't want them anymore.
Ah, well, if you do get up to duff, come and see me, darling. I've got a coat hanger. Well, who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Pushing someone down the stairs is
I
far
was
easier
about
than
to
using a coat
say,
hanger.
can't you just push me down the stairs, though?
Hey, that is not a pre-approved abortion method, Farty. Cut it out. Anyway.
Just punch a bitch in the mound.
Anyway,
That's not going to do anything except really, really piss her off. I'm sorry. There you go, Mad.
oh no, it's fine. I'm sure if he tried to push you down the stairs, you just stab him in the jugular and it'd all be over. I have no doubt.
Wait, no, I would reach around, stab him in the kidney, and pull him down with me.
Ah,
And then-
creative.
I'm a massive fat cunt, so I hope you got long arms.
But Doku, aren't you guys doing something tomorrow night?
Let's see. There's supposed to be a stream, and if I remember correctly, we're supposed to be doing something about sharing ghost stories.
Yeah, I already shilled that, buddy. What are you guys doing on Exiled Opinions?
On Exiled Opinions, we're doing something, and because I'm such a wonderful co-host, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, you're amazing at this co-host job. Everybody, thank you. Good luck. Good night. Don't go to France without a yellow vest. Are they still doing that? I don't even know. I don't even care. And fuck you, Dan and Dave. Fuck you. You know what you did. We're out of
Viva
here.
la vida.